Friends, how are you? I hope you all must be fit and fine. So today we are going to do the next part of the chapter plant reproduction. We have studied till here, and what we have studied was all of this, right? Like how the seed grows, what is seedling, what is root system, and the different parts of the seed and different parts of the plant, and how does the fertilization and formation happens with on the seed, and many more. So now let's start about on this new topic known as seed dispersal. We have just discussed a little bit in our previous part, but today let's study it properly whole. Seeds along with fruits are shed off upon ripening, but if a plant sheds all its seeds in one place, it will be overcrowded and seeds will compete for air, water and sunlight. This will deteriorate the germination and they would not grow properly into healthy plants. To avoid this condition, plants have a special mechanism called seed dispersal. The scattering of seeds to different places away from parent plant by various agents is known as seed dispersal. Well, what it says is that what is actually dispersal of seeds? Well, dispersal of seeds is nothing but the spread out or the displacements of seed from one place to another is known as dispersal of seeds, isn't it? Seeds along with fruits are shed off upon ripening. Suppose this is a tree and there is a fruit hanging on it. When it falls down, it has so many seeds in it and the seeds will go somewhere in different places, right? When they will go in different places, then their seeds will also go in different places, isn't it? When it will be in one place, all of the seeds will fall into one place, suppose here, then how could it be that the seed would function properly, or how it could be that the seed will grow properly with proper nutrition and everything, isn't it? So that's why it's given that there must be a dispersal agent for any tree or any plant to grow. Suppose there is a seed and there are so many seeds over here and this place is overcrowded. Then how will the seed will deteriorate its germination process and would not grow into healthy plants. This is why to avoid this condition, plants have a mechanism called seed dispersal. It's basically scattering of seeds to different places away from the parent plant by various stages is known as seed dispersal. Now we have understand it properly. Then let us see how seeds actually are dispersed. Now here are some agents of seed dispersal. The agents that help in seed dispersal are known as agents of seed dispersal. They help in scattering seeds to different areas. These agents are wind, water and animals. What these agents are? These agents are basically wind, water and animals. Some plants can disperse their seed by explosion. Like if you have seen cucumber plant, when their fruits is ripened, they fall from the plant. It's hanging over here. Suppose when they ripen, they fall from the plant and their seeds scatter away to different places, and that's why they have so many seeds in a cucumber plant. Well, so first let us see what is seed dispersal by wind. Seeds of plants such as cotton, maple and dandelion are dispersed by winds. Why? In this diagram you can see the seeds of here is a seed of, can you just find out what is the seed of? Well, this is a seed of maple and this is a seed of dandelion. If you can see here, dandelion is a plant which have a very furry kind of structure of flowers. Well, they are known for its very lightweight structure in overall. So if you can the structure of the plant. They're very light and feathery, and this is parachute which are very light and very spin like the helicopter, and through that they can travel in the wind. Seeds of cotton and dandelion are very small and light and feathery as well. They look like parachutes and have small hair-like structures that help them to easily get carried away by the wind. Seed dispersal by water. Seeds of plants like coconut and lotus are dispersed by water. Here you can see the dispersal by water. Here is the plant of coconut and here is the plant of lotus. The coconut is just floating on the water because of its hollow. It's very, just empty from inside. It's very hollow and very lightweight. Not very lightweight actually, but because of its lesser density than water, it can float on water. And same as the lotus plant, here you can see, this is actually lotus fruit. Here you can see lotus leaves, and when these small seeds you can see over here just fell into the water, they float and get dispersed to another place. This is how the seed dispersal gets placed in water. Let's study it a bit. Seeds of plants like coconut and lotus are dispersed by the water. Coconut is a hard but fibrous outer covering helps it to float on the water. The lotus fruit is spongy at the center. The seeds of the lotus are embedded in the spongy part. This allows to float in the water. Thus, dispersal in the seeds happen. So, this whole thing we have totally understood. Now, let's see seed dispersal by birds and animals. What's actually seed dispersal by birds and animals? Seeds are dispersed when they swallow the seeds while eating the fruits. The seeds are thus germinated in different places. Seeds have hooks or spines to get stick for the bodies, example of animals, and get carried away by something, for example xanthium and tiger's claw, to the bodies of birds and animals. Here you can see how about dispersal of birds and animals. Well, dispersal of birds and animals is very interesting though. Here you can see seeds are dispersed by birds when they swallow the seeds while eating the fruits. The seeds are not digested and come out of their droppings, thus germinating in different places. Like see, here is the bird. When it will just eat an apple and just eat its seeds as well, it cannot digest it. So it will drop in its dropping into the soil, and then it will grow into whole new plant, right? Well, there is another case in xanthium. Like this is the plant, this is the seed that you can see is known as the xanthium, this one here. And this one is the hooked of tiger claw. This picture is not proper, but here you can see the both of them. They have spiny hooks and spines here, like you have seen in cactus. These help to stick into the fur of animals and get transported or dispersed to another parts. Now let's move on to humans to help in the dispersal of seeds when they eat fruits and throw away their seeds. The seeds that fall on the ground receive proper conditions to germinate. Now here is dispersal by explosion. There are some plants such as peas, balsam and lady's finger whose seeds are dispersed through explosion. These plants have pods that burst open when explode and when they are dry. This way the seeds scatter around in different locations. Well, here you can see a pea pod but in a ripe condition. Because it's in a ripe condition, it will split open by explosion because the plant cannot take more matter inside it, right? That's why it will explode and thus dispersing all of the seeds around its environment. Another ways of reproduction in plants. Some plants can grow from other parts of the plant besides seeds. The process of growing a plant from other parts of the plant is known as vegetative propagation. Well, what is known? It is known as the vegetative propagation. The part of the plant from which the new plant grows is known as the vegetative part. What it's known, it is the vegetative part. Natural vegetative propagation occurs by the plant roots, stem or leaves. Here you can see. Now, wait, you will tell me a question in the comment section. What is actually artificial? What is the difference between artificial vegetative propagation and natural vegetative propagation? Fine. Now, what is actually? When a plant cannot grow from its seeds, like you have seen rose plant, we basically cut the rose plant stem and plant it to the soil so that it can grow well, right? We have done this and that's how the rose plant grows commonly. So this is what actually vegetative propagation is. A plant growing without a seed, just a plant itself, but not its seed. It's basically known as vegetative propagation. Here, vegetative propagation by stems. Vegetative propagation by stems can be seen in form of tubers like potatoes and rhizomes like ginger. Here you can see a bulb-like structure. In this image, there are something out of here. Well, these are known as the thing which is used in vegetative propagation. Tubers are, you have seen in bulbs like potato, onion and ginger that there are such small things. Suppose this is potato, you have seen a pinkish white structure growing out of the potato. This is what basically these things are. Tubers are thickened underground stems of certain plants that store food. They swallow the structures, have buds in the little dent called an eye. And as seen in potatoes, if you cut a potato in several pieces, each with an eye, a piece can grow into a new plant. Now, what is it actually? Tubers are basically underground. So, most of the people think that, yeah, it's the stem of the plant. But no, actually, it's not the stem of the plant. It's basically it's not the root of the plant. It's basically the stem of the plant, yeah. Because just not growing underground of a plant means that, it's the stem. While it's not the stem actually. Here in this image, you can see a whole potato growing. In here, this is the image of a whole potato. Well, this is what vegetative propagation by stem is known as. Here you can see another vegetative propagation part which is known as the bulbs. What is the bulbs? The underground stems of some plants covered by scaly leaves. These leaves store food and become thick and fleshy. They form a structure like a bulb. What they form a structure? They form a structure like a bulb which we can see commonly in this picture. Onions, tulips, gladiolus and lilies. So here there are some bulbs and some stems over here which you can see. And now let's move on. Rhizomes. What are actually rhizomes? Well, rhizomes are also some kind of like that. Here you can see an onion plant, right? Well, this onion plant, it's what basically causes rhizomes. Underground stems of a plant like ginger, turmeric, and banana have scaly buds on them. The buds develop outgrowths which can give rise to new plants. This is what basically rhizomes is, and what is just propagation by vegetative propagation by rhizomes, or you can say stems or underground stems of any plants. Now here, vegetative propagation by roots. Plants like carrots, radish and sweet potatoes reproduce from their roots. These plants store food in roots. A new plant can grow when a portion of root containing vegetative buds is planted in the soil, right? So here in this image you can see there is a carrot plant in this image. Well, it is what basically is needed. Its roots are basically needed to make the vegetative propagation happen. Next is vegetative propagation by leaf. It's also very interesting, vegetative propagation by leaf. Well, plants such as Bryophyllum and Begonia reproduce from their leaves. They have buds on the margins of the leaf. Small plants grow from these buds. When they fall on the ground, they grow into new plants. Here you can see an image of the Bryophyllum leaf, which is written over here. These small seedlings you can see, these are buds on the margin. This is a margin of a leaf. What's the margin of a leaf? The boundaries of the leaf here are known as here margin of the leaves. They have small little plants like seedlings, you can say, are growing into new plants. They fall on the ground and then they will grow into new plants. Here is a small experiment which you can use to just make another new plant. So let's quickly revise what we have learned in this chapter from overall. We have studied in this chapter a whole about plant reproduction. Now we have studied all the key concepts in this chapter. Now let's move on. We have studied about what is sexual reproduction in plants and what is fertilization and seed formation and sexual reproduction as well. Here we have studied that how does the seed germinate and how does the seed formation even happens when the gametes fuses into each other. The seed formation process happens, and how does it grows into a whole zygote and everything else. And then we have studied about the structure of the seed. As you can see here, this is the whole seed diagram, isn't it? Now we have studied about the different parts of it as well. What is plumule, seed coat, radicle, cotyledon and other things as well. Seed coat and what provides the nutrition, the cotyledon, and what is the radicle, the sprouts, and the seed coat, and the plumule, the baby shoot. And we also learned what the study of seeds and fruit is called. It's called carpology. What it's called? It is called carpology. Then after that we have learned what is formation of seeds. Now we have studied in this diagram which are the two leaves of a plant, and first two leaves, cotyledon here as well, and seed coat. Now from here we started learning dispersal of seeds and the agents of seed dispersal. And what actually seed dispersal is, we have learned in this whole paragraph. Now there we have seen this seed dispersal by wind, dispersal by water, and what are the different kinds of seeds here. Now in here we have seen seed dispersal by animals. In this diagram we can see what is the seed which is dispersed by animals over here does actually look like. This is a seed of xanthium. Now let's move on. And we have also seen the what is dispersal by seed explosion. In this image we can see a pea pod, and what is actually dispersal by explosion. And we have also seen other ways of reproduction in plants. Which are the other ways of reproduction in plants? Which is the other way of reproduction in plants is vegetative propagation. And we have studied what is vegetative propagation in stem, and what are tubers, and what are the stems and rhizomes, and vegetative propagation by leaf. So that was all for today. I don't think so. Hope you understand everything well. That's all for today, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share this channel if you haven't so. Hope you liked this video. Bye.